Now, I have to say, some people were quite skeptical when they found out I'd written a book on Kama Sutra, because I'm quite a late convert to spiritual sex. I'm quite an impatient person, and I'm a big fan of that sort of throw me around the bedroom type sex. So all this, like, controlled sex that would go on and on and on and on for hours did not appeal to me at all. And I have to say, things like inhaling each other's breath still makes me feel a little bit sick. But there are some fantastic things in the Kama Sutra, and there are some pearls of wisdom in there. For instance, 2,000 years ago, they were talking about the fact that women need foreplay. I mean, in most of the spiritual sex books, they get to the point where she has to be practically trembling with desire before he even thinks about intercourse. Now, I find it quite ironic that 2,000 years on, some men have still failed to absorb this simple message. So there you go. They were saying it 2,000 years ago. The other thing they concentrate on, I think, is putting the soul back into sex. And I think in today's society, we really have separated sex and, from love and intimacy. And I think it's quite a nice idea to try and put those two back together. The other thing I really like about the Kama Sutra is that it doesn't recognize that sex has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it has a healthy disregard for the horrible pattern we've fallen into in the Western world, where we start off with kissing, bit of fondling of the breasts, hand down below. If you're lucky, you get a tongue. There's intercourse, and then one orgasm, usually for him. Now, anything that's an improvement on that has to be a step in the right direction, doesn't it? The other great thing about spiritual sex in the Kama Sutra is that it teaches you different ways to thrust. Now, traditional thrusting is great, but anything which is a variant on the norm is good because it produces variety. And they're not sexist either. There are techniques for women as well as men, so she's also taught different ways to pump his penis. Finally, there is a tremendous emphasis on getting those pelvic floor muscles nice and toned. Now, what this does, it creates a temptingly tight vagina and very impressive penis control. And tantrics do pelvic floor exercises basically more often than we clean our teeth. All it involves is squeezing and releasing your pelvic floor muscles. And if you can get into the habit of doing this gym workout for your genitals, your sex life will be improved out of sight.